All right, everybody. So I know we are only 6 days into 2024, and we haven't even had the first annual Argent Awards for 2023, but I think we have a nominee for the We Live in a Society Award. Now, I've already got a couple awards. Worst take, I already have one where Zelensky claims that the spring offensive failed because the plan was leaked. That's gonna make the list. That almost, if it was like 2 days earlier, that would have probably won for 2023, but that's one that's going to be added. So I think what I'm going to do is, as nominees come out throughout the year, I'll do a video talking about them, what they're nominated for, and put them in a playlist. And at the end of the year, once we do the nominations and we give out the Argies, there'll be a playlist there if you want to go back and look at it. So we're going to talk about how this is we live in a society, but I also wanted to talk a bit about military recruitment because this is like a big issue at the moment. Royal Navy forced to recruit for top job on social media. The advertisement was described as utterly shameful and unprecedented by naval sources, but they did it anyways. The Royal Navy was forced to advertise for a top job on social media, and a move described as being utterly shameful. So like literally there was no one they could I guess there was no one they could like appoint from within. I mean, this is pretty common in most companies these days. They don't want to develop internal talent. They'd rather just hire some dude from outside. So there, I guess we're supposed to believe there was no captains, no commanders, no lieutenants, no midshipmen, no office. They couldn't even find like a rank and file, like some random sailor and make him a rear admiral. We have to advertise it on fucking LinkedIn. That is the level that we have reached at this point in time. It comes as former Defense Secretary Ben Wallace learned Britain's armed forces were facing a recruitment crisis because Gen Z was not signing up. So we're going to take a little field trip now over to YouTube, and we're going to see why Gen Z isn't setting up. We're going to take a look at some military recruitment ads. Now, before we get into that, why do I think Gen Z isn't signing up? Well, it's because we live in a society. Let's look at what Gen Z is like, and I'm guilty of a lot of this. Gen Z is like, and millennials are overweight, they're out of shape, they're on psychiatric medication, they like have in many cases mutilated themselves with tattoos and piercings and cut their dicks off and are taking weird hormones and all kinds of fucked up shit. And like, I wouldn't want them to have weapons either. Like, we've seen what happens when Gen Z and millennials get weapons. They go on a mass shooting or something like that. So do you really want to give these guys access to like bigger weapons? And the thing I always find funny about these is it's like this is the government of the UK putting it out, and they're just completely oblivious. Like, we don't know why this is the case. Like, it was like the education system, the BBC, all that stuff, the laws that we put in place that like ban people from buying broom handles without like carding people. None of that, I'm sure, has anything to do with the way Gen Z turned out. It's just like it's the mystery Scooby Doo couldn't solve. Um, it's like the education system, the culture, none of that is affecting military recruitment. It's just that Gen Z's lazy. So, to my understanding, I don't think the Russian army is having recruiting problems. From my understanding, and we could say that Shoigu is lying, and that's possible. They haven't had to mobilize conscripts since December. They claim an average of 1,500 Russians are signing up a day. They did a really slick campaign that we'll take a look at, and they raised the amount of money that they paid their soldiers and gave them more benefits. And this was widely mocked in the West that Russia's desperate, so they're trying to recruit people for their army, and it's like, but like, don't most countries normally try to recruit people for their armies? I mean, they're trying to recruit contract soldiers as opposed to using conscripts. Isn't that like a preferable option? I mean, I guess not. So let's take a look at the Russian recruitment ad, and this is one that was widely mocked in the West. Okay, let's go. Okay, so let's just dissect this. So, okay, so we have this like Chad with a PKM, I think that's a PKM, in a grocery store, and then it cuts away to show it's like this Chad security officer, and it's like, dude, what are you doing with your life? You're working hard at a job, but you can be more. You can be out there. You can be a Chad. You can be serving your country. You can be a badass. The Russian army has launched a video campaign to lure more professional soldiers to fight Ukraine, encouraging to show that they are real men. And we're going to say this is toxic masculinity, but it's working. Got this, like, Chad at the gym. It's like, if you join the army, you could be a Chad too. Like, if you're a young male, would you rather be one of these guys? Or would you rather be like some tranny with like multiple piercings? Is this really where your strength lies? A taxi driver's challenge? Is this the path you want to choose? Got the dramatic music. We got the guy who kind of looks like Straylock from Stalker. The commercial ends with the slogan, "You're a real man, be one." As a service served by contract, monthly wages start at $2,500. I don't know how much that is. My understanding is the Russian army raised wages by quite a bit during this conflict, and that's encouraged more people to step up. Something to always keep in mind is whenever you look at military wages, they seem very low, and they are, but if you're in the army, at least in a lot of countries, normally you can live in barracks, you get your food paid for, you get your medical care covered, you get I think you get a clothing allowance. You have a lot of things covered, so most of your income is, I would imagine, disposable. But that's the Russian one. Now, let's look at it's not a bad recruitment ad, better than US military ads. This ad is absolutely great. Not even Russia want to join them. This goes hard. Russia has the best military ads. This is more effective than the shitty ads we have. Let's look at the Chinese one, because there's a Chinese military recruitment. I think it's the 2019 one. Okay, here we go. Here's the Chinese one.
我们已经习惯打道。
王军，转令动员大会现在开始。
Like, if you're a young male, and I know I felt that way, like at that point in my life, you don't, like, you could be directionless. You don't know where you're going to go. You don't know what to do. A lot of people at that time of life, they do want to do something important. They want to serve their country. They want to go on an adventure. They want to do something that matters. And they might not have a career path. And they're showing you here, if you're a young male, you could join the army, you'll learn discipline, you'll get in shape, you'll hang out with a lot of other dudes, and you'll, later on in this, we'll see you're learning skills. You're going to learn some skills.
一声道，是一句承诺。
军长同志，营房前准备完毕，请指示。什么？战！
一声道，是一。
Something I've noticed, and this is because I've worked in schools in the past, and just stuff I've read, people generally speaking like discipline. They like structure, they like order, they just don't like it when it's arbitrary. Kids, I find, thrive on discipline.
一种割舍。
Yeah, so I think this is also a clever part of the ad. They're showing, okay, you get to be a badass, but you also have an opportunity to learn skills, avionics, computer, like advanced computer usage, stuff like that. I mean, it looks cool. Like, if you're a young male, you want to blow shit up. And it's like,
一声道，是一场冲锋。
like, that looks cool. I mean, you can argue it's like bad, but like even a couple years ago, the Canadian Army had good ads. Okay, so this was a Canadian Forces recruiting ad. I forget if this was the 2000s or the aughts, but this was the most successful recruiting ad that the Canadian Army ever run, to my understanding, and they actually had too many applicants. Like, lots of people wanted to join up after they saw this ad. Now they have a recruiting problem. So let's take a look and see what kind of messages was in this ad. Okay, we got some chads on Sea-Doos. We have some Canadian patrol who I think is trying to help a hijacked ship. And I think those guys are like smuggling drugs or something. Fight fear. Like, once again, they're appealing to that thing that a lot of people want, which is purpose. Which is, you get to, if you're in the Army, you get to go help the Canadian people. You get to be cool. You get to do a job that matters. And we have the Canadian Army who's like taking down some drug smugglers. Taking down drug smugglers, fight chaos. Fight distress. So, like, this one isn't particularly violent, but it's saying to young men, if you want to bake something of yourself, if you don't know what else to do, you want to serve your country, you want to have meaning in your life, join the Canadian Army. And this was this was an extremely effective fight with the Canadian Forces. Great. Over 100 exciting full and part-time careers. Let's see here. I cannot find the official Canadian Forces channel. They need to bring these back. Advertising our military is more of a search and rescue anti-smuggling force is fantastic. Once again, stuff like this works. Young men like that. Let's look at the latest US ad. Let's look at this and let's see if this makes anybody want to join the Army. Like the Russian ad, you're rip roaring and ready to go. Now, obviously, it's kind of an idealized version. Military life is a lot harder than that, but you can deal with that later. At least you're getting people in the door.
We'll say America is a land of opportunity.
It means we strive to be a nation of limitless possibilities.
Exploring those possibilities isn't just an inclination.
It's our greatest strength, the power to discover.
To redefine yourself.
To improve yourself.
To challenge yourself.
This looks like a fucking low-budget
Power
movie.
to discover.
To redefine.
Look at, that's the shittiest looking ghillie suit. I know it's probably effective, but come on, guys. Spend the extra couple bucks. Get one that makes it look like it's from Call of Duty.
Find yourself.
To improve yourself.
To challenge yourself.
To challenge yourself.
To challenge yourself.
To realize there's more in you
than you ever knew
that you could do.
To be all you can be.
To be all you can be.
Just like this fucking soy boomer.
It means
Zoomers.
never assuming
Something can't be done.
And if it's the right thing
Never assuming that your gender.
to do,
Never stopping until you achieve it.
That's how the U.S. Army has succeeded since the founding of this country.
Since the founding of this country.
Giving people an open field to explore what they do best.
with the best tools,
The best training.
The best technology in the world.
the possibilities really are endless.
It just feels so amateur, compared to the other ones. And people might go well, Argent, you made fun of Ukraine for putting out a trailer like that for their counteroffensive. And I'm like, yeah, but that's a military offensive. That's not a recruiting ad. If they put out the counteroffensive trailer as a recruiting ad, that would have worked. It would have worked as that. But
And the world sees
it's
that.
different.
It's what we fight for every
Who the fuck is this?
day.
Every day.
Every day.
Seeing those possibilities, then going out and achieving them, that's winning. And we all know that winning matters.
having possibilities matters.
It's what makes every soldier swear.
This is so incoherent. It's be all you can be.
That I
I will
will
support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
America was built on embracing possibilities.
This is what we do.
This is what we do.
This is what we do.
We bring out the best in the people who serve.
Because America calls for nothing less.
So you can be all you can be.
Oh, it's so bad. Let's say what people said as a privileged white male. I'm giving it. My father served on the USS Liberty. What? why would anyone want to like serve in that? Like you saw, like the Canadian ad was for Canada, and that was like less than 2 decades ago. Cisgendered millennial. What is this?
When
Who
I was
says I'm
17, I
unapologetically
quoted Zora Neale Hurston's "How It Feels to Be Colored Me" in my college
Oh
application.
no, that's CIA. That's CIA, but I mean it's the same deal. So I wonder why there's a recruitment crisis. It's a mystery. I don't think the Chinese and Russians are having the same problem. Another source said the advertisement was unprecedented, and it was down to the Navy being unable to find a suitable candidate internally. One user commented on the job advertisement, "I'll do it, but is the advertisement a scam? Surely not how the appointment is made." Dude, we live in a society. Like, I don't know what to tell you. This is just the way that shit works now. We put up fucking, like, nuclear submarine jobs on LinkedIn. Like, we're going to complain about Russian bots and people on 4chan. They're literally just saying, okay, whoever wants to, like, apply for this, then just go ahead. They probably put this up because they don't want, like a British person applying for this. It's, okay, I'll do it. Surely another former submarine who worked in the Navy for 35 years added, "Nice little bit of intelligence. I'm sure our Russian friends would have noticed." It is understood the position is yet to be filled, although the Royal Navy is still accepting applicants. A Royal Navy spokesperson said it would be inappropriate to comment ahead of any appointment being made. Ben Wallace, who stepped down last August, said Britain needs to do things differently to recruit soldiers and other service members. Armed forces across the West are having a recruitment challenge. Gen Z is not joining the armed forces in the same way my generation did. Like, once again, it's just he's completely baffled by this. Like, I don't know. They just are. They just don't want to serve in the army. I don't know why it is. Now, the one argument I've heard from people like Brian Berletic and some other people is that they don't want to go and die in American colonial wars. Well, the British didn't really have that much trouble, to my understanding, during the 19th century getting guys to go fight in colonial wars. It's because it's like just to spread gay marriage or to force like countries to legalize abortion or to try to build democracy on people who have no interest in it. Like, if this was actual colonial war, it's like I said about Iraq. Like, if Iraq was actually, we're going to invade the country, we're going to take the oil, and gas prices are going to go way down in America. It's like, but based. Like, that might be evil, but it's at least, like, it makes sense. Like, why, like, if it was going to be like the recruitment ad, it was go join the army, invade Venezuela, kill commies, take the oil. Like, I don't know. I just feel like that would work better. The Royal Navy had to decommission 2 warships because it had too few sailors to staff them. Let's see here. The Navy has 2,900. They only recruited, holy crap, 30,000 people over the course of a year. Is down 20%. Once again, it's like, it's just, there's nothing we can do. There's nothing we can do about it. No one wants to serve on a nuclear submarine. That's not cool. I don't know if they let women on nuclear submarines because that would be kind of awkward, but it's once again, guys, it's just a mystery why no one wants to join the army. It doesn't have anything to do with the education system. It's 4chan and Russian trolls, and it's because Zoomers are just degenerates, I guess. So, God bless everybody. There's one of the first nominees for the year.